Hello everyone, thanks for joining us. My name is Ian Mackey, I'm the Director of Strategy here at Pointit. Super excited to have Chris and Evelyn from Pointit as well, two senior client managers here who are going to walk you through managing search like a pro with ad extensions. Before we get started, a few logistics. The webinar is being recorded. A link will be emailed within 24 hours. Definitely feel free to ask questions. You can do that either via the chat option or the question box on the right-hand side. And any unanswered questions that we cannot get to during the webinar, we'll follow up via email. A little bit about Pointit. We were founded in 2002. We are a Seattle-based digital marketing agency, managing over $40 million in media each year. We service clients across all verticals and revenue models. We do not only focus on search, but in display, so paid social, website development, landing page optimization as well. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Evelyn.
Great, thanks Ian. So during our presentation, Chris and I will be covering what ad extensions are, why we should use them, which ones we should be using, best practices, and the future of ad extensions. For those of you who are unfamiliar with ad extensions, they're a collection of ad formats that provide additional information about your business. This can include business address and phone number, reviews and ratings, access to apps, and even social profile links. Ad extensions are becoming increasingly important to search campaigns in both Google and Bing. Chris will cover 4 reasons why.
Thanks, Evelyn. Ad extensions allow for meaningful interactions with qualified users. These opportunities include providing a phone number and even the ability to call a business directly through ads with call extensions, downloading mobile apps to your smartphone from app extensions with just one click, providing addresses for businesses nearest you with location extensions, and displaying a positive third-party review to add credibility to your listing and service. They also take up more room on the search engine results page. In this example, the extension allows the top ad to take up 3 times as much space as the ads in other positions. As the screenshot shows, the top ad takes advantage of multiple extensions and takes up significantly more space than the third ad, which is not utilizing any links at all. Remember, these are easy to set up and provide a lift in CTR and user interaction. If you're making the commitment to show up in a top spot, ensure you're taking the time to build out your extensions. Yes.
Chris, I have a question for you. Do some of these extensions require being in the #1?
That's a good question. A few of these extensions do require being in the #1 position. As we go through each extension, we'll highlight the ones that do require being in that #1 spot. Extensions also allow advertisers to communicate and interact with users beyond standard text ads by adding credibility and third-party feedback through reviews and ratings, highlighting popularity through social network information, providing multiple contact points, including a local phone number and address for the nearest brick-and-mortar location, and last but not least in this example, offering the users additional info and tools relevant to their query, including a store locator and topical information on an appliance sale. The last, and possibly most compelling reason to use ad extensions is a relatively new one. In October of 2013, Google announced that AdRank will take into account extension use and format. You're probably asking yourself, what does this mean for me? First, let's review AdRank. AdRank is a value that Google uses to determine your ad position on the results page. Historically, this was calculated using your bid and keyword quality score. Now, AdRank also takes into account a third component, expected impact from your ad extensions and formats. The impact here can be significant, but the bottom line is pretty straightforward. If your ad can benefit from extensions, make sure you are utilizing them and executing properly. It will provide a positive impact account-wide. In the following slides, Evelyn and I will dive into the ad extension types and how you can use them like a pro.
Great. I'll start by covering one of the most basic extensions available, which are sitelinks. Google estimates that on average, an advertiser's click-through rate is 30% higher for ads with sitelinks than those without. That percentage is even higher when using enhanced sitelinks. In Google, advertisers now have the option of running enhanced site links, which includes 2 lines of descriptive text for each site link, shown in the second screenshot. In essence, they can act like 4 additional ads within one. Enhanced site links are triggered when a query has a strong likelihood of resulting in an ad click. In other words, a strong predicted click-through rate. As a result, enhanced site links are most frequently triggered on brand terms. To use site links like a pro, first, take advantage of the descriptive text. They're simple to add and the benefits are obvious when the enhanced site links are triggered. Second, advertisers can also set site links at ad group and campaign levels so they are as targeted and customized as desired. In addition, site links can now be scheduled, which is great for businesses that are only open during specified hours or have scheduled specials or events that they would like to promote. Site links are almost always a good idea to add to your ads, but they are especially beneficial for brand campaigns, which most frequently trigger enhanced site links. They're also great for campaigns where site links can provide additional relevant options, giving advertisers additional opportunities to engage with their audience. However, they're not a good option for campaigns that want to control where traffic is landing. Site links can disperse traffic across several different landing pages, which is not ideal if you would like to control where they're landing on a single page. Bing has site link ad extensions as well, shown in the top screenshot, but they do not offer enhanced site links. The site link setup and function are essentially the same as Google site links. However, Bing also allows advertisers to use the same URL across all headline link and site links, which means in essence that you can technically set all links to the same URL, therefore controlling where traffic lands. This removes the con of not being able to control where users land, which is the case for Google site links. Also, this provides an ideal testing environment for advertisers that want to try different site link language for the same landing page. Another benefit of Bing's site links is that they allow advertisers to use social profile links in site links instead of just being limited to pages within your domain. A unique ad format Bing also offers is called Rich Ads in Search, which includes richer content alongside site links. Rich Ads in Search needs to be set up with your Bing Ads rep and is only available for brand terms. However, the benefits are obvious. It creates a visually appealing ad with options for thumbnail, video, or form formats. Location extensions are also a great extension that businesses can use if they have brick-and-mortar locations. Being locally relevant is key for any brick-and-mortar business, and leveraging extensions that are mobile-friendly increases awareness and interaction by reaching potential customers that are within close proximity. When you add location extensions, your business address is shown within your ad as a link. This makes it easy for users to click on the address link and identify where your business is located directly from your ad. In addition, by adding location extensions, your ads are also eligible to appear on Google Maps. As shown in this screenshot, this can be a big advantage when your competitors are not utilizing this extension because your ad and business location are clearly identified on the map, whereas others are simply icons. To use location extensions like a pro, the most important tip is to ensure that you have the correct address running on your campaign if your business has multiple locations. This can get extremely sophisticated if your business has multiple locations in close quarters, so campaign targets will need to be very tight, with settings set to target only users searching within your location and avoiding any overlap in campaign location targets. We'll show you a real-life example of advertisers who did this correctly and incorrectly later in the presentation. Secondly, this extension can be used alongside call extensions, which is an ideal combination for brick-and-mortar businesses. To give you some data to back up the effectiveness of this extension, we analyzed one of our new accounts which recently began running location extensions. When comparing the 15 days prior to the extension being added and 15 days immediately after the extension was added, we saw click-through rate increase 1.33%. Conversion volume increased 12.24%. In Bing, location extensions work like Google. Addresses are included within the ad and are clickable links which take users to Bing Maps and sets you up to get directions to this location. Bing's location extensions also allow advertisers to run ads on Bing Maps. Now, for the same client that we compared in our last slide, when we added location extensions to our Bing campaigns, we saw click-through rate increase 1.13% and conversions increase 50%.
Great. Thanks, Evelyn. As Evelyn mentioned, call extensions can be used with location extension. This extension is great for businesses that see a value associated with a phone call, including lead generation and purchases made with a representative. Research has shown that 70% of mobile searchers have called a business directly from a search result at one point. In Google, call extensions are easy to set up, organize, and schedule. For desktop, laptop, and tablet searchers, the extension will show as a phone number within the ad text. For mobile users, an icon will appear within the ad that allows a user to click to call. To use these call extensions like a pro, first determine whether there is a value associated with a user calling your business. If you're generating leads or completing sales over the phone, these are for you. If you prefer not to pay to direct extraneous traffic to a customer service line, you may not want to opt into this extension. Once you've determined that this extension is appropriate for your business goals, you then have the ability to choose whether you'd like to use your own phone number or a Google forwarding number with call reporting. You also have the ability to dictate whether you'd like to show just your phone number or phone number and website to smartphone users. If you're encouraging users to call rather than visit your site via mobile, you may want to choose the option to just show the phone number. Another option you have is the ability to count calls as conversions and at what duration it should trigger the conversion. For example, if you have a call lasting 5 seconds, you may not want to count that, but if it lasts for 60 seconds or more, you could choose to have that count as a conversion. Our last pro tip involves scheduling. You have the ability to determine what days and hours these will appear. Make sure you're scheduling them to show up when you have adequate staff available to answer calls. It creates a poor user experience and wastes advertising dollars when you're showing these after hours.
Chris, what are the benefits of using Google Forwarding?
Good question. The main reason to opt into Google Call Forwarding is to receive reporting on calls, including call volume, duration, whether the call was missed or received, and caller location. Another reason is that Google now offers the ability to tie call conversions into Conversion Optimizer and enhance CPC, so you can adjust accordingly to increase your likelihood of call conversions. And here's just a quick example of what that reporting looks like. And to add some real-life data to this, we have seen recently with one of our accounts that the 15 days prior as compared to 15 days after launching ad extensions, we had an increase in CTR of 8.5%, which is pretty significant, and we and the client were very happy with that. Next, we're taking a look at Bing call extensions. Very similar to Google, they provide the ability to display a phone number to consumers across the globe on smartphones and can display the designated or forwarding number to users not only on smartphones, but desktop, laptop, tablets in the US and UK via Skype. Similar to Google, you have the ability to schedule and also utilize a forwarded number to get more granular reporting on call performance. Next up are app extensions. These allow you to direct users to the appropriate app store to download your mobile or tablet app for iOS or Android in just one click. App extensions offer the ability to display your mobile or tablet app by showing a dedicated link below your ad text. Clicking the download link will either take you directly to the app page in the appropriate store or begin downloading. Remember, if the user clicks the ad headline, they will still be directed to the website. Our tips for using app extensions like a pro are to make sure that your app has a value that you're willing to pay to send traffic to that page. You're only paying for a click, but it can definitely add up. If your app works on multiple devices and operating systems, make sure to create extensions for all of these. Google is smart enough to detect the user's operating system and device type, so the appropriate extension will show based on what type of smartphone or device the searcher is using. Utilizing the app extension is different from creating an app ad. App extensions are most suitable for an advertiser that wants the ability for the searcher to either download their app or visit their website. If your goal is strictly app downloads, you may want to use app promotion ads, or at least use these in tandem with these extensions.
Another Google extension to consider is review extensions. Review extensions provide more information that can help potential customers understand why they should select your product or service over competitors. These can be added directly from the AdWords UI, and advertisers are allowed to have multiple review extensions on a campaign. This review can either be paraphrasing or a quote from a third-party review online. In this screenshot, a direct quote from a review on About.com was used to highlight Inigo's antivirus software as a cool, effective solution for Mac protection. The direct link to the review must be provided and is included in the extension. Google reviews and approves each review extension that is added. To use review extensions like a pro, first, you can schedule your reviews if it makes sense. For example, a business that specializes in 24-hour delivery services may schedule a third-party review that highlights their speedy services during late hours. Also, it is recommended to test several variations of reviews and endorsements if available. This extension is especially helpful for businesses that provide products or services that take time to compare and review before making a decision. However, advertisers should keep in mind that the link to the third-party review can take users to a different site. Therefore, again, it is not recommended for campaigns that want to control where users are landing. Also, review selection should be made carefully. If the review article suggests competitor products or services as well as yours, clicking on the review link may actually turn that click into a competitor's gain. Once again, we analyzed one of our accounts to measure the impact of the review extension. When comparing the 15 days prior to the extension and immediately after the extension was added, we saw click-through rate increase 3.04%, and conversion volume remained relatively flat with a 1% lift. Social extensions show how many followers your business's Google Plus profile has. This feature is being phased out as an extension that advertisers can opt into. Google will automatically begin adding this social extension in all ads with the option to opt out by filling out the form in the URL shown. This extension is great for a frequently used Google Plus profile which has a lot of great content that is up to date and a lot of followers. However, advertisers should be wary of using this extension if their Google Plus profile is not up to date or has incorrect information.
Great, thanks Evelyn. Seller ratings serve a similar function to the review extensions that Evelyn described. The seller ratings extension includes a star rating based on aggregated ratings that Google collects. Google indicates that on average, ads with seller ratings have a 17% higher click-through rate than similar ads without these extensions. Seller ratings are mutually beneficial for both advertisers and users. For users, seller ratings can indicate customer satisfaction levels based on reputable reviews, including Google Shopping and Google Trusted Stores. This is also a plus for advertisers because it helps lift CTR, add an additional layer of credibility, and provides even more motivation to improve customer service and interaction. To use these like a pro, you must remember that you have to have at least 30 unique reviews from the past 12 months, and secondly, you must have an aggregate rating of 3.5 stars or higher. If you hit these thresholds, you can fill out a form from AdWords requesting inclusion into the program, which is on our deck here. You may also opt out at the same time with the form at any time. You can also check out your current review status by visiting the domain listed here. Make sure that your listings, especially business name, are correct and consistent across review sites. The last tip is to ask your users for reviews and things like confirmation emails after purchase, and include links to these pertinent third-party review sites.
Chris, I have a question for you. What are Google Trusted Stores?
That's a great question. Merchants that meet specific shipping and customer service metrics are able to apply for entry to this program. Once approved, they're able to display the Google Trusted Store badge on their site. And here's an example of some of the areas that Google is pulling these reviews from. Now that we've covered in detail each of these extensions and how they work, we'll cover best practices and examples of do's and don'ts that we've discovered along the way.
The first best practice is the most obvious. Use ad extensions in your ads. Most of these are quite easy to set up and will only take a few minutes of your time. If your competition is taking advantage of extensions and you are not, it becomes very obvious on the search engine results page. In this example, Barnes & Noble does an excellent job with their Nook ads. We're seeing 5 different extensions in this ad: seller ratings, social extensions, location extensions, paired with call extensions, and highly relevant site links. However, Nook's competitor, Kindle, is not taking advantage of any extensions. As a result, Kindle is not providing information about how they're rated, special promotions they may be running, where to purchase a Kindle with business contact information, and accessories, apps, and books that are available to Kindle users. The result is a lackluster ad when comparing side by side.
And just a reminder, if you are running ad extensions with topical sale information, make sure to change those out once the sale is over.
Great, thanks. The second and possibly the most frequently overlooked best practice is to make sure your ad extensions are relevant. Paid ads should be as relevant as possible to create a wonderful user experience. The last thing your ad should do is create frustration. Ensuring that you're providing the most relevant message and options is crucial to that experience. Zappos does a great job of using Sitelinks for women's shoes. Popular women's shoes categories are listed as options: dress shoes, top women's shoes, and in addition, there's a site link to the women's boutique online. However, Zappos' site links for men's shoes are too broad. What are the chances of a user clicking on women's shoes or kids' shoes when the keyword is men's shoes? Not very high. By doing a quick update of site links for the men's shoes campaign, the ads can easily become more relevant and potentially influence ad rank. When it comes to ads, one size does not fit all. Again, making sure your ad copy is as relevant as possible is fundamental to a successful search campaign, and ad extensions are no exception here. With the amount of ad extension options available, scheduling options, site link targeting options, a paid search pro will look at customizing all of these elements of an ad. In this example, PetSmart did add site links to their campaigns. However, they did not go one step further to customize their site links. To create a more relevant ad, PetSmart should create customized site links for their cat and dog campaigns. Some ideas could include dog bones or puppy toys for dogs, toys with catnip and teasers for cats.
Great. The next best practice is to ensure that you're using extensions properly. Once you've decided to use an ad extension, check your campaign and extension settings so that they are being used and delivered properly. When setting up location extensions, it is especially important to check your campaign's target settings. In this example, the Washington user sees the closest Safeway location and phone number, which is highly useful information. The University of Phoenix ad, however, pulls up an Arizona address and local phone number. This mistargeting is likely due to the word Phoenix that is part of the brand name, indicating this extension is triggering very frequently to irrelevant users. The next best practice is to schedule your extensions accurately. As part of the QA process, ensure that your ad extensions are scheduled only if they are applicable during specified hours. The Armed Forces ad is a great example of an ad utilizing their call extension properly. The call to action is "Call us," and the ad runs with the call extension during hours when an agent is available. In the Echo Mom example, however, this advertiser is running their call extension past their business hours. This is a common mistake that can result in poor user experience. A Contact Us landing page is a great alternative when campaigns are running outside of business hours. The next item is not the most glamorous, but is one of the most important aspects: testing. It is important that once you've taken the time to build these out, you don't let them get stale or continue to use underperforming links. Best practices for testing include testing competing copy within both campaign and ad groups for the most granular experience, use distinct and unique calls to action when testing, and don't feel obligated to test as regularly as you would with ad copy. Monthly or even quarterly is fine. It will take time to build out statistically relevant sets of data. And remember, you cannot guarantee equal rotation on these links, so pure A/B tests are not feasible. Now that you're a master of extension testing best practices, it is important to learn how to best report on the results. You are able to pull a variety of reports through the interface, but sometimes it takes comparing a few sets of numbers to be able to tell the whole story. These include this extension versus other and top versus other. After reviewing this info, it is important to then identify KPIs that matter. Things like CTR offer a great deal of insight into the level of engagement to a specific extension, and then comparing conversion rates and total conversions help tell the full story. Tools like Google Analytics can help you filter through the data as well. Using custom refers can paint a more full picture, including actual clicks, actions completed, and overall user behavior and engagement. Lastly, it is important not to lose the signal and the noise. Make sure to focus on main and most statistically relevant KPIs and find actionable items within those to continue testing and improving upon. Well, we've covered ad extensions and best practices, but there's more. Ad extensions are constantly evolving, and Google runs betas frequently to test different extension formats before rolling them out for full availability. We'll be highlighting some that we've seen recently, and keep in mind that betas are only available to select advertisers and typically run on a very small percentage of impressions, less than 5 or 10%.
The first extension that I'll be covering is image extensions. The future of ad extensions holds many exciting things, and recently Google has been adding more visual elements to their search engine results page, including the image extensions beta for paid ads. This extension is in the form of 3 highly relevant images that appear above your text ad. This extension is only eligible to appear if your ad is in the #1 position. Context about your product or service. The image extension beta indicates a more visual future in Google paid ads, which is very exciting. Google has seen great success with visual elements on the page, including product listing ads, and it appears that now they are looking to incorporate more of those visual elements on paid text ads as well. Another extension that we've been seeing more recently is the Google Ratings extension, which have been appearing primarily on big business advertiser ads. This extension includes user experience ratings that Google has collected through Google consumer surveys. The extension segments the ratings into several categories to provide more insight into the user experience and stays true to Google's primary goal, providing highly relevant content on their search engine results page.
The next one we'll be looking at are form extensions. Form extensions have been around in various forms for some time, including variations capturing zip codes and email addresses. This extension allows users to begin their conversion process by inputting information directly at the ad level, which is then submitted to the advertiser's webpage to provide a more customized experience when landing. The primary goal of this ad extension is to increase click-through rate and user engagement. Lastly, we'll take a look at the drop-down extension, which is a relatively new extension we've seen out in the wild recently. The drop-down menu provides links to specific pages of the advertiser's site, which functions similar to Sitelinks. The intent of this extension is to ease navigation and increase click-through rate.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for the Ad Extensions webinar. We hope that you learned about the many benefits of using ad extensions, how to use them and stay ahead of the competition, proper use and reporting methods, and best practices for optimal results on your search campaigns.
And now we will open it up for questions.